My whole life has been guided by serendipitous events that just steered me in the right direction. And my blacksmithing career is a perfect example of that. I was 11 years old and my French teacher said, I think maybe you should wait a year to take French and transfer to the industrial arts class. And I said, okay. And I looked around and I saw something in the back closet up on a shelf that looked like it had been there forever. And I called the teacher in and I said, what's that? And he said, I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure we can figure it out. And he did figure it out, and it was a blacksmith forge. I started experimenting, hammering on hot metal on an anvil they had there. I just loved it. Transferred to Colorado Rocky Mountain High School. There was a master blacksmith there, Francis Whitaker. I learned more from him. The high school for the next 3 years hired me to teach blacksmithing and kayaking in the summers there. Susan and I moved from California to here. We got married. The people at the wedding stayed after, made adobes for our new house, but ran out of money. And since I had learned about construction, got my commercial contractor's license, started working on buildings in Santa Fe, and when I finished one of those projects, the owner said, well, now I need some ironwork. Who do you think we could get to do that? And I said, I can do that. And of course I was totally bluffing. I had no tools and no place to work. We set up a little shop in our living room. I bought tanks and torches and just started from there. I never stopped blacksmithing after that. It was a spiritual awakening. I've always felt like I can trust my intuition more than my intellectual way of thinking. So I listen to my inner voice and it guides me. I could just tell this was the right thing to be doing. I can't articulate my intuitions. Sculpture expresses it much better. I take functional work just as seriously as sculptural work. In fact, sometimes I think it communicates even more when people put their hands on a handrail that I make every day. The message of the work comes through to them in a powerful way. Pedro is just almost telepathic. He can figure exactly what I want him to do and do it better than I can many times. The business wouldn't happen without Susan and Rhonda and Pedro.
Christopher's approach to creativity in both the forging and his music is total improvisation. That impacts the work to go in a new direction continuously.
I've solo kayaked down the Grand Canyon many times and always playing my flute is a way of merging with the energy I feel in the different canyons, the different acoustical effects of the different spots make me play different music. Then when I come back to the shop, I've been altered and I make different ironwork. It's all tied together, flute and kayaking and ironwork. And when I'm at the forge hammering the hot metal, I enter this mindful state where I'm not analyzing, I'm just doing it. Staring into the fire, bending metal, playing flute, kayaking down a river. It's just releasing myself from the intellect, getting to the intuitive. The elements, fire, wind, and water, do affect me strongly and flow into the work. They're the meanders of the bloom sculptures that look like the meanders of a river, but it's not like I'm trying to make them look like the meanders of a river. They're just imprinted in my mind and they flow back through me.
When people come to visit the forge, sometimes they come to the gallery first, sometimes they go into the forge studio. And when they come through the door, they almost always stop and go, oh my, this is just amazing, because it's so far out of most people's reality that there could be this place where fire creates art.
When people ask me how long a sculpture takes, I say it takes 25 minutes and a lifetime.